I noticed in the first day that my toe, which was really quite in pain, they wanted to put an artificial joint in my toe right at the knuckle. And I noticed that after putting the patch on in about 24 hours, I started to get some range of motion back into that toe. And I was like, wow, maybe I should, pursue this. I was very skeptical in the beginning, very skeptical, one of the worst around. So I said, I'm going to try this. And I did.
On your toe, there was the inflamed joint, but then you had something on top of that, right?
I had something on my toe, which is called a diabetic foot ulcer. I had that for 14 months. I went to wound care. Nobody could get that thing straightened out. It would ooze from every now and then. Within about 3 weeks, I noticed that started clearing up. I wasn't really expecting that. That was one of the first things that happened.
This is showing, is this after 3 weeks, this completely cleared up?
That's after 3 weeks of being on the patch, which 14 months of medicine would not work.
Did you put the patch near this, or where were you putting the patch when you?
I was just putting the patch on, the normal place up behind my neck. And one thing I did notice though with the patch, when my toe starts to bother me, if I take the patch and put it down there on that toe, it helps a lot. Being a diabetic, I also had what they call splits between the toes. They were horrible from time to time. I'd have bleeding and so forth. Ever since I went on the patch, I don't have that anymore. My skin is just unbelievable. I also was to the point where my balance, because I have some stenosis going on, noticed within about 3 months that my balance went from probably a scale of an 8 to a 9, because I was so bad that I was going to fall over in the shower when I closed my eyes. My balance is almost 100%. I couldn't get on my knees. That would hurt my knees really bad. Now I can get on the knees. I can look for something under the dresser, whatever. I had the little joints that right here at the wrist were quite inflamed. That went away. I had some shoulder pain going on. I had some knee pain going on because I have a bad right knee. That seemed to subside for the most part. I just can't say enough. I was born with a missing vertebrae, and they took a bone out of my hip and put it in my back. So I have a lot of metal in my back. And so you can imagine, the pain that I've dealt with over my life. Well, I have very, very little back pain as I'm sitting here today. All these little things, start to, keep coming in, and you're like, wow, I didn't notice this. But let me just reiterate, it did not happen, all of it in the first 24 hours. Some of it took 3 months, some of it took 4 months, 5 months. I've been in 6 months. But I religiously stuck to it. I do what they tell me to do. Results have been astounding.